What's up, guys? Welcome to the We Are the Flesh podcast. Please hit the subscribe button below and the bell icon so you can stay up to date with everything that we're doing, new episodes, new music, and all that. And check out the links. We got all of our socials and all the places you can access our music. So check that out, and let's start the show.
We are the Flesh. Smokies on the block, ain't no time for talk. One day pull out the clock, ain't no time for nothing to round. Smokies on the block, ain't no time for talk. Feeling low, one day pull out the clock.
All right. So, back again. Unfortunately, we lost Tyler this week, right?
The band got back together, and then it got back together.
Yeah. So,
Unfortunately.
it feels like even though he's not a member, it feels like he's a member. You know, when we're sitting here talking about Breaking Bad and scuba diving and what else did we talk about last week? Panda Express.
Yes, we were going to continue that this week.
Yeah. So go for it. Let's continue.
Panda Express. Well, one thing I was going to say is if you have a hankering for Panda, but you don't feel like leaving your house, Trader Joe's. It's crazy because Trader Joe's, I think of all the healthy stuff you can get there, but then I go there and I get like the frozen chicken.
Yeah.
But it's
good. Everything from there is good, dude.
Yeah.
There's like not one. Okay, the one thing I'll say from Trader Joe's that I can't get of theirs that I have to get the actual original shit for is the sriracha.
Do they have their own?
Their version of sriracha, they do. It just doesn't taste quite right. Like to me, at least, I have to go and get like the actual like sriracha,
With chicken
sriracha.
on it or whatever.
The rooster sauce, yeah.
The rooster. Yeah, Trader Joe's is the move for sure.
Yeah, I love Trader Joe's, man.
It's so good. We shouldn't be talking about this. I was like, I'm on a good streak of like not. I love orange chicken, but it's very.
It's not the healthiest thing.
I mean, whether you're watching your macros or not, that thing is gonna hit you hard with a lot of calories.
It's heavy. Yeah, for
So
sure.
good, though.
Oh
Man, as long as I don't spill it on myself on the drive over here.
For sure. Let's see. So we're gonna talk about Sudden Active Violence. That's out right now. It's doing well.
Yes.
So I hope you guys like it. If you haven't checked it out yet, it came out last week. Let us know what you think. You know, drop comments here. Drop comments on socials. You know, where you stream it, what you think about it, relative to the other songs. That's what's cool about putting out a new song every month. Is that, you know, we got new releases constantly, you know what I mean? Some of them you might like, some of them you might like more than others, you know? And just let us know, like, because we always like the feedback. We always like to know, you know, what our listeners think about the new songs because we're always, you know, keeping it fresh every month, you know, releasing a new track. So, yeah, that's been going well.
You know what's funny? People always tell us their favorite tracks, but
Also,
we're happy to hear your least favorite tracks, too. We're just curious. We don't care. Our
let
feelings
us
aren't
know,
hurt.
too. Let us know.
We just want to know.
Yeah,
it's
for
just
sure.
fun.
Let us know, like, because literally that's what I mean by feedback. Exactly, it's just let us know which ones you like more than others. Let us know which ones you hate. Let us know whatever, you know. That's what it's all about. Also, just want to give a shout out real quick, just because I haven't done it in a couple episodes. The merch is on the website at wearetheflesh.com. There's also a link below if you want to check that out. When it comes to your house or outside your door, comes in this cool little package. Lets you know it's from We Are the Flesh. So be sure to check it out. And the link, like I said, is in all our socials and below too. Let us know if you have questions or future merch design that you want to see, because we're also always changing that too. So just check it out. Keep in touch with us on that. I think we got beanies up on the site too.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to get a sample. You're going to get a sample of that soon.
For sure, yeah.
So.
It's the snowboard season isn't quite over yet, and it made me think of that. I was like, dude, I like black, and I like red, and I like We Are the Flesh, and I like snowboarding, and I like beanies. So let's put all that together and get this awesome little beanie, which I'm really stoked for. Yeah, I got to get a sample of that.
Hell yeah. Yeah, so that's up on there too. Those are actually up on the site at wearetheflesh.com. So if you want to check those out too, keep that head warm for what's left of the winter. Or if you're in a wintry part of the country, there's, you know, the spring can get pretty chilly too. So then you're covered with your head for the, you know, until you hit summer. So go and check it out if you want to represent with some headgear instead of some, you know, some shirts.
Or get both. Match it. Do the whole head to toe flesh.
If someone does
thing.
that, if someone gets head to toe gear, like we will for sure give you a shout out with the full visual and everything.
Yeah,
on here.
send
like
us the pic.
100%,
Yeah, we'll send it and we'll
like
put
the
it
beanie,
right up there.
the shirt, double dipping. Oh man, we want to see it. We want to see it for sure. And then in terms of like, we don't have any. Do we have any shout outs this week specifically? I didn't see anything specifically for this week, but I just like we did have a couple questions, but I didn't see any shout outs.
Well, specifically, I don't know. In general, I must say we love our fans. But yeah, I can't think of anything specific that we got going on.
Yeah.
At the moment.
But we do have some questions. Did you want to read them off?
I want to yes, let's shout out Monarch again.
Love this guy's questions, bro. Your questions are great.
Yeah, I want to do like Monarch interviews because I mean, look, all the questions are great. We appreciate everyone's questions, right? But it's like Monarch gets at least where we're at right now. So stay on it, please, Monarch. Monarch's like that example paper that the teacher puts up at the front of the class. It's like the other kids are like, oh man, here we go. It's like, well, sorry, like they nailed it. So yeah, Monarch gave us a solid grouping of questions, and let's go through some of these, right?
Yeah.
All right. So one of them that we got: once you start to play live, do you plan to play with a live band or just a DJ? I think we're pretty unanimous in agreement on this one.
Yeah, so pretty much the way, it's a really good question, but yeah, when live shows come into play, we're definitely going to roll with just DJ setup and mics for sure. That's how we're going to roll, because especially that's just how we want to roll as well. Just because that's like fits like the sound that we're going with right now, and also honestly, that's just easy. It's easier.
And it's authentic too, because it's us.
Yep.
So I mean, like when we made the song, we didn't have like a bassist sitting there doing.
Yeah,
the
it's always
808s.
just been us.
Yeah, it's the two of us. So that's what it's gonna be. You're gonna get me doing the production side, and then you're gonna have the live vocals, and then it's gonna be, it's gonna be what the group is. I mean, maybe one day if we have like a Beyonce type production, we'll get like 400 people.
Maybe. I mean, to be honest,
they'll have horns and all that. But for now, it's definitely just gonna be the two of us.
Yeah,
giving you the music just like we created it.
Well, and to be honest, man, like I wouldn't even really want a live band. You know what I mean? Like that's just such a headache, dude. You know what I mean? Like especially for what we're doing.
If someone else wants to put in the effort and do it and take a cut,
I
wouldn't care. But honestly, I really appreciate the authenticity. Like it reminds me of, and no disrespect to anyone who thinks otherwise, but like the whole Beyonce. I mean, we've talked about this, the Beyonce, Eminem, Coachella thing. Like I remember a lot of people were super stoked on Beyonce's performance, which was awesome. I mean, I was there, I saw it. And then there was Eminem's performance, which some people complained. They were like, oh, he just performed. And I'm like, well, you guys got to give Eminem more credit because he came out there and he performed his music. Like, what did you want? Like a bunch of people doing backflips and like playing all the notes that him and Dre like sat down and like made on a mixer. Like he was performing. It was real. So I have a lot of respect for that.
Yeah, for sure. And it's true.
It's not, because I mean, it is easier. That's always a benefit, but it's also more.
I mean, it's
authentic.
only easy. I think it's only easier if you know what the other side is. You know what I mean? Like if you've always just like performed with just a DJ and stuff, well, that's all you know. You know what I mean? But if you've been a part like we have, where you've been a part of tours, you've been a part of live bands with 4 and 5 and 6 members that all play different instruments, you know what I mean? And the gear and the hauling and the setting up and the sound checking and the different things that can go wrong with the monitors and the speakers and the
Oh man, yeah, nothing better than getting on stage and sitting there like tuning your guitar for the last time and
Yeah, dude. Like that's just it can be, if you don't already know, like that can be a headache in itself. So like it's just, if you compare the two, so much easier and more convenient to just like have like the DJ vocalist set up, man, like by far, like so much less involved with sound check. Like in terms of the world of live sound, like take your music out of it, like just the sound check and the monitor, like the things that can go wrong is reduced by like 80%. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like there's only 2 things can go wrong, like the feed to the DJ setup or the mic. Like that's it.
Right.
Like
and plus, I mean, unless it happened to just mesh really well, I'm not sure it would necessarily improve the experience. You know what I mean? Because the way that we did it, the way that we've created stuff, it's like there's the beats and the vocals. So like if there's like a live drummer, all that really adds to the mix in my mind is at least like potential to fuck it up.
Yeah.
Or to, you know, I'm like, why would we do that? Wasn't there. Why are we adding that? Like, we're just going to put out what we've made.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's a great question. And then another one that he's got, Monarch. Do you have some more cool featurings for upcoming songs?
So yeah, not at the moment, not right now. It's definitely like we're open to it in the future, just like whenever the opportunity comes up. The ones that we have right now just kind of came together at the time they came together conveniently, like they happen to work out with the features that we have. But yeah, definitely we're open to it in the future. Definitely something we're going to keep in mind if the right situation comes up with the right people. But nothing that's going to be like in the immediate future released.
Yeah, nothing
right?
pending at the moment.
Yep.
And then let's see. Do you think that death trap has a potential to become one of the widely popular genres like nu metal did in the 90s? I mean, I think we wouldn't be in this if we didn't, right?
Well, I think it's just a brand new sound and it's a new spin on things. And the thing that I've always said about it, like, you know, especially since we started doing the whole like trap metal, like death trap, whatever you want to refer to it as, you know, and getting involved with that scene and like really like watching our music take off with it, is the fact that it is new. You know what I mean? It's a new combination of things. So like if you're talking about 90s and stuff, so this is my main difference on this is my school of thought. So in the 90s with like the rap metal and like rap rock and like, you know, whatever you wanted to call it, and then it became nu metal, etc. The difference there is you had 4 and 5 piece bands, you know, or more, like playing instruments, right? So that it was like guitars, bass, drums, and then some had a DJ, you know what I mean? Like on top of that, like mixed in, but they were playing like rock music or metal music, whatever you wanted to call it, music that had bass and drums and guitars and stuff. And then you had the vocalist like rapping and singing over this like heavy rock music or like metal music, right? So that's what that was. This is like the direct opposite. It's coming from the complete opposite direction. Like now you have like beats, right? Like rap based beats, hip hop based beats, even if they're not necessarily hip hop or rap beats in themselves, that's definitely obviously where they're stemmed from. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And even if there are guitars in there, it's sampled guitars. It's like supposed to be part of the beat. You know what I mean? Like it's not like a live guitar necessarily. So like you have these beats, right? And these programmed like instruments. But yet there is like the vocalist is like, where traditionally they'd only be rapping, they're like screaming, they're rapping, they're singing, they're doing all kinds of stuff over these beats, right? So this is something that would all be like normally until this genre came in, it would be boxed into like, oh, you're just gonna like rap over these. But people are doing all kinds of stuff. You know, they're screaming, they're singing, they're doing all kinds of different alternate vocals that you wouldn't necessarily expect over a programmed rap or hip hop beat. So it's like coming at it from the different direction. It's like before it was like rockers that were like starting to rap, and this is like rappers that are starting to like, you know, like do heavy like rock or metal music, at least vocally, you know, and it's like taking the beat and pushing it in the rock direction as opposed to taking the rock instruments and putting it in a hip hop direction.
Right. Yeah,
you know
exactly.
I mean?
No, I
that's the way that I look at it.
That
it's
makes
like,
sense.
It's similar in the arena, but it's coming from like the complete other entrance of the arena.
So to sum it, it's kind of like instead of throwing rap over rock, this is more like you're throwing there's the rap because that's where the beats are at the core, and this is kind of throwing the rock into the rap.
Right? Yeah, that's the way I look at it. And that's what makes it so unique and so original and come out of left field with a lot of stuff. It really gives you have to blend a lot of genres and stuff. Like, so will it become that way? I mean, I think everything is just so different now in general with the music industry. I don't know if it would be exactly that way. I mean, it could be that way in terms of like popularity levels and stuff, but you know, is it possible? Yeah, but my opinion is that it's just so different now in so many ways. You know what I mean? Like, because back when that stuff was popular, like even though it was coming from a different angle, like people still bought albums, like, you know what I mean? They still sold them in stores. You go to a store to buy a CD when those bands were popular.
Popularity, how to become popular is different now, right?
Yeah.
CD versus like Spotify or whatever. Yeah. But I think that this has the way I see it, some of the genres, even back in the 90s when they were combining them, like some of the types of rap or some of them, like a lot of the metal was not as widely accepted. But I think that the way that it was combined, it became more popular where most people listening to this probably know who Limp Bizkit is. You know what I mean? That's not just like some underground punk band.
Yeah,
that,
or
like,
Slipknot. Yeah.
So, so I think this is definitely potential to get to a very widely known level. And I think it's kind of the whole thing where like sometimes I'll show people like a metal track and they're like, oh, I can't get over the screaming, I can't get over the abrasiveness. But if you show them this, it's still aggressive music. It still gets your like blood pumping, gets you wanting to move. But I think it's just more digestible for a lot of people.
Well, and that ties into the next question too, though, right? Which is like the last one.
Perfect. Yeah. And oh, by the way, just a quick note.
Yeah.
In the mention of the samples of the guitars, another thing that I think that we're trying to do to try to be different is a lot of music these days, and one of the ways it's evolved, there's a lot of sampling and like there's sample packs and things that are used. Like when we have sampled guitars, that's our guitars. Like that's our sample that we made. When we have sampled vocals, it's like our sample.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we didn't buy it. We didn't snap it off.
You're not going to find it on another track because we record it, or like sometimes like we have some like creaking and stuff. It sounds, for example, on a Sudden Act of Violence that came out recently, that was us. We didn't go find that in like an Apple pack that said creaking 01. That was literally us taking a mic in the room and like moving shit around and being like, okay, what
organic sounds.
Yeah. But yes, on to the next one from Monarch. And finally, why did you decide to switch from thrash? Sorry. He said trash.
Yeah, it's a genre. Yeah.
Trash?
Yeah.
Trash.
Yeah, it's a genre. Yeah.
TRASH.
Yes. Yeah.
The garbage.
Sorry, he doesn't know about a lot of different genres.
No.
Hardcore.
I think you're missing
trash. Yes. No. Correct.
TRASH.
Yeah, like the garbage. Yeah.
That's
trash.
a genre?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, it is.
I thought trash is.
Yeah.
I think he meant thrash.
Like a trashed hardcore band. He might have meant thrash, but I will tell you that's another genre as well.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I knew you weren't going.
You learn something new every day. What the hell's trash?
So anyway,
that's a genre.
Why did we switch sounds is the main question though.
Trash.
Before you got hung up on that, and
I can't believe that's a thing. That doesn't sound right.
You find it?
Music trash / genre. It's a hip hop / rash. What?
Anyway,
sorry.
All right. So while he learns about music,
I'm trying to figure out what this is. I'm like, what? No.
So anyway,
I think it was thrash.
The reason why we switched sounds, you can let us know. Let us know if you typoed. But either way, that is a genre.
Yeah, Monarch.
So
we will get back to you on
that. As a genre, but either way, whatever. Why did we switch? That's a really good question. So. Because we get that from a lot of people. Like, people will message us all the time and say, hey, are you still doing this? Where's this song? It's like, well, I think the best answer, the most general answer we can give for that is that our goal since the beginning of this project has been to push the boundaries and expand the boundaries of what we would call heavy music as far as we can. Like, we've both been fans of some of the same bands, but also have our own favorite bands that each of us like individually. Where like we listen to them, we're like, dude, these guys are amazing. And you go see them play, and they have such smaller audiences than you would assume they do, like based on how good that we think they sound. Like I remember being at shows of bands that I just love, and I think like, man, how are there only this many people here? Like these guys should be playing stadiums. And like, it's just like, well, certain people, just like you said a few minutes ago, like when you play something really heavy, there's only a certain amount of people. Like if it's like really heavy, like, like death metal or deathcore, whatever you want to call it.
Whatever
it is, certain people are just going to be turned off to it because it's just too heavy for them. Like the vocals are too heavy. Maybe the music is too heavy. It's too abrasive. It's too aggressive. Some people get turned off. So like, we're like, how can we make it so we can make something that's really heavy and has a lot of energy, but still like keep people that are not necessarily into really brutal heavy music interested. So that's what like kind of has been our quest, and we figured we can make it by combining genres that like not a lot of people are combining, or maybe that a few people are just starting to, or we're at the beginning stages of, that we can expand that boundary. You know what I mean? And get more people interested.
And I think it's for us too. I mean, as listeners, that's like the primary thing, because our whole thing from the get-go has been like, dude, like we vibe in terms of being able to make music. So like, let's do shit that we dig. That's why like we love the feedback and we love the fans. But I mean, at the end of the day, we're not saying like, hey, tell us that this is your favorite song and this is your least favorite song so we can keep like copying ourselves. We're just curious because we just want to know. At the end of the day, I think we're doing it because it's what gets us excited. And honestly, I'm feeling more fulfilled musically than I
Yeah.
have before, because when it comes to the vocals, the beats, the sound, like all the shit that's going on, there's a bunch of stuff I have that I've like buried on my computer where I was like, oh man, I wish I could do a song that sounded kind of like EDM-y or kind of rappy or kind of film music-y. But it's like, okay, I'm in a metal band, so there's only so much of that we can do. But now I don't feel like constrained.
Yeah.
Personally, I feel so much better in terms of like, I feel like it's like we can fuck with whatever different genres we want, throw whatever
Yeah, because
we want
we
in the
both
blender.
like before this project, like we've known each other for a really long time. And we've been in like metal band together, and like we've been in also individual different metal bands, like punk bands, whatever. Like, and it's like honestly, we feel like there's not really as much opportunity to really stand out as much because those sounds are so solidified, and like a lot of like the boundaries have been explored. Not to say like all the boundaries have been explored. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like there's been a lot has been done with that sound, with that stuff, like, you know, metalcore, deathcore, you know, metal, death metal, etc., to where it's like, well, I mean, we can't really like do something in this where it's like gonna be our individual sound, or if we did do that, it's gonna take like a really long time because that stuff is so established already. Versus if you do something brand new that's only been around for like 2 or 3 years, that's a totally different story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you have so much more room to expand on it and contribute to what's already been done and build with it as it grows. But that's the main thing, man, is like, you know, like, okay, here's an example, like with the Purge and like all that stuff that came out like in the earlier part of the project compared to what we've been doing this last year. A lot of people will be like, oh, you sound like this, or you guys sound like that, or this reminds me of this, or this reminds me of that, versus like the feedback we get on the newer stuff is just like, man, you guys came up on Spotify, and like this is something like I haven't even heard like this before. You know what I mean? Like, what is this? You know what I mean? So like we get way more excited about that because like it's not just like, oh, you sound like this or you sound like that, which is, we welcome all the feedback, but like hearing this sounds totally different to me versus, oh, this just sounds like XYZ.
Yeah, it sounds like you mixed the
obviously way
vocals
more
from this
exciting.
band with the guitars from this band or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like
exactly.
that's like, yeah. Those are my favorite comments. It's just like, dude, I have not heard this. What the fuck is this? Even the ones that aren't necessarily praising, but are more just like, what is this? I'm like, yes, I will take that any day over just like, yeah, you guys sound like a regurgitated version of like X, Y, and Z.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Monarch always coming through with the questions.
Always coming through with the really good questions, man. We love it.
It's the best.
All right, cool. Do we got anything else to cover for this week? Kind of a light week.
Yeah, it's been pretty chill. Just if you haven't checked it out yet, Sudden Act of Violence is out. We hope you guys are digging it. Seems like some people are digging it, and we're happy with the way it's going. And yeah, that was a fun track to make. I'm glad that it's gone beyond just us sitting there and listening to it in the private link, and now it's out in the world for everyone to enjoy.
Yep.
So let us know what you think about it. And then, as usual, I feel like we haven't been asking people. We do ask them, but just to reaffirm, now that we're like rounding the final corner here on this week, if you got questions, feedback, stuff you want us to cover, Monarch, if you got more interview stuff to throw our way, bring it on. We love it. And then, we'll cover it in future episodes. Happy to do that. Shout outs, questions, feedback, whatever. So,
Cool. All right.
Yeah. See you next week, guys.
All right, next week.
We are the flesh. Smoke is on the block, ain't no time for talk. One day